friends, and welcome to Hollis Hands Create. I'm Christine, and today is Thursday, December 7th, and welcome to episode number 51. This is my channel about cross stitch and my crafty endeavors and whatever I happen to be into that I wish to show and share with you. And I want to say thank you so much for visiting with me. I hope that you'll find something inspirational and want to stick around and maybe come back. And if you'd like to become a subscriber, just hit that subscribe button and then the bell, and that'll notify you whenever I have a new episode that comes out. One exciting thing about it is over 5,000 of you have actually wished to subscribe. I'm beyond excited, and thank you so much. And in honor of that, I have a special giveaway that I'm going to talk about at the end of this video. Hope you'll stick around, and again, a great big thank you to each of you. Okay, on to the stitching. I'm filming in the morning, so I still have to go to work. So today we're gonna kind of just move right on through some things. I have some homework assignments to show you, and then I get to show you what I did in some of my free time stitching, which I gotta finish. I'm very happy about. And here we go. Let's jump right in. So first thing we do, or I do, that I join in with a group of ladies, is the Friday night in Hawk Run Hollow. And you can choose whatever pattern from the Hawk Run Hollow series that you wish to bring and stitch on it. And you can stitch on all day. It doesn't have to be Friday night. It can be, Friday at any time. But I have chosen for the last several Fridays to work on autumn at Hawk Run Hollow, fitting into the season that we're in right now. And I'm pretty sure I showed you that I had gotten a finish on block 12. I am a bottom right-hand starter of the chart. So somebody had asked me a question, what exactly did I mean by, bottom right-hand starter? And I think they thought I meant the actual stitch. I don't start at the bottom right and go across this way. I actually do stitch right to left most of the time. I have a very strange way of stitching. So maybe at some point I'll actually show a video, because I do stitch in hand for the most part, unless it's really tiny stitching or a really tiny piece of material. So maybe I'll do that. But what I mean by bottom right is I start on the bottom right part of the design for the chart. So block 12, I did get a finish, and the last couple of Fridays I worked on Tom Turkey here, kind of in honor of Thanksgiving. And I'll show you my progress. Not a tremendous amount of progress. I think last Friday I did more chatting than I did stitching. And that's appropriate because I have his butt done. Let's see, there's a better representation of the fabric right there. So I'm stitching this on, I believe, a Victorian Motto classic sampler linen, and this is I think it's a 46 count. I'm almost positive it's a 46 count. I don't have my project card right here. So this is my progress. Now I'm going to be actually shelving Tom for the next couple of Fridays probably. And I've decided to resurrect the village. If you've been with me for quite some time, I actually had put the village out for adoption twice. 2 times the person that I drew their name did not respond to accept the village, so I just took that as a sign. It wasn't meant to be adopted out. I meant to actually finish what I started. So here is the village of Hawk Run Hollow. I started this way back. I want to say it must have been 2015, 2016, that a few of us had put together a stitch along for this piece, and I have to admit I did not even come close to finishing, but I have pulled it out, and I've had to go back and pull flosses again because I had, you know, pulled the flosses out. And anyway, I'll show you where I am for those of you who might not have seen. And I had finished block 1, and I didn't iron this. This thing has been folded and put away for quite some time. So I'll have to iron it before I get started this Friday. I had done outlines for 4 of the blocks because there's another block that goes further down that's folded up under that's outlined. And I am on block 2. I have done this section here. I had chosen to leave the title St. Peter's Church off. I think it's pretty appropriate that we're aware that it's a church. So I left St. Peter's Church out of this part here. And then I'm ready to start the fence right above that and get going. And if this is the thread that I had pulled out, this is actually, believe it or not, I was stitching on 32 count sand dune from Lakeside Linen, 2 threads, but I am not pulling all this business out or just cutting it and restitching the whole thing just to have 1 thread. So I'm gonna persevere, and I'm gonna finish this with 2 threads. It is very pretty. I don't know why I just didn't, you know, I kind of got talked into doing this stitch along by a good friend who actually is no longer with us now. And there you go. It was a join along for me, not a stitch along, right? Okay, so that's what I've been doing on my Friday nights. Let's see. What have I done for my homework pieces? So the next one was Dwelling Place, which is a beautiful design from Teresa Kogut. And again, we have divided, this is part of an assignment group that I stitch with, and I believe Kristie is the person giving out assignments. She's Crosshatch Quilts. If you follow her on Instagram or watch her Flosstubes, they're awesome. She's a great stitcher. Beautiful decor in her house. Her sense of design is just fantastic. Anyway, so she has given us assignments. I think most everybody has started up here. One of the other stitchers is a top right starter, so she and I are going to get to meet in the middle somewhere around in here, which is great. And I'm down here. So I'll show you here real quickly what my progress is. And I need to pull my board off of here. Makes it so much easier when I can clip these things to a board, and it's not as awkward, and I'm not trying to peer around so bad to look and to see what you're seeing. But here is my progress. So block 1 had kind of stopped right here. And so I started the house, the fencing, this flower. This is the urn, and we'll have a plant in it, and then continued this fabulous border. And I'm stitching with all of the called for colors with the exception of I substituted brown hen in here for this bird. And I really love it. And let me see. I am stitching this on 40 count Embellish, which is an atomic ranch fabric. I'm in a different room today, and the light is changing on me. We have had our typical crazy weather here in Missouri, in Kansas City, where, you know, if you live in the Midwest, if you don't like the weather, stick around for 5 minutes. We had here in Kansas City at my place, we had between 4 and 5 inches of snow maybe 2 weeks ago. Then we had some temperatures. We were getting up in the morning to 17 degrees. And I think one of those mornings it actually set a record low. And it's really been chilly. Today, we're supposed to be 64. So, you know, go figure. But it's really breezy. And the clouds are kind of wisping through. And so the light is changing up and down. So I apologize if that kind of messes with the look of some of these pieces that I'm attempting to show you. Okay. Next assignment was the Beast, Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain. And you can see mine is all, I'm the person who's in charge of the assignments, and I have it all drawn out. You know, it's one thing, you know, to set up the assignments or whatever, but we can all still do whatever we want. So I think there's a group of us who actually have already started Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain, and then for, you know, different reasons, didn't like fabric, didn't like what was going on, didn't like threads, they decided to ditch and restart. And so several of them have already stitched the house. So they're like, oh, bag that. So they're going down. I'm gonna go across, and I'm gonna do this block here, which is the date block and the top chunk of the house. Then I will probably drop down and do this square, and then I'll probably go back up and do this. I am one who likes to kind of go across my pattern like this, especially if it's a really large one. But beautiful, beautiful. This is by Kathy Barrick. And let me clip this to the board real quick to show you my progress. And I believe I am stitching this one on 40 count Dusty Road, which is a Seraphim fabric. And that was the completion of my homework assignment from last month, from November. And I do believe that I was almost finished with this when I filmed last time at the, you know, in the second week of November. I just had some finishing up to do, and I did get that finished, and here it is. And don't you just love those colors? And I am stitching this with Vicki Clayton silks. And they are smooth. Those silks are like butter. So love, love, love this one. And I will be working on this one tonight to get started with my December homework. So for December, we actually have, I showed you last time, Shores of Hawk Run Hollow, because we had started that in October for Becky's birthday start. But since we had a couple people jumping in and joining us, we decided to finish that first homework assignment, which started at the end of October through November, and then skip December to let everybody catch up. So I don't have a homework assignment for Shores for this month. And this next one that I'm about to show you was our Thanksgiving start, and it's out of the Hello Autumn book by Teresa Kogut. And if you don't have this book, it is well worth it if you love stitching autumnal pieces. The color palette is just gorgeous. I believe there's maybe 8 designs in here. She doesn't really have a table of contents. I think there's 8 designs. I wouldn't swear to that, but I think there's 8 designs. Anyway, for our, I have to be real careful here. For our Thanksgiving start, we started Folksy Thomas. He's awesome. I love this guy. And he's not super big. He looks big, but he's not. He's only 150 by 133. So it's not going to be just a huge design, and it's not super stitch heavy. You get a little bit of stitching concentration, maybe, you know, kind of right in here. But as you'll see in just a minute what I've done, it took no time hardly to do it, so I'll show you. So we had our Folksy Thomas start. And I'll clip this one to the board. Now I am stitching mine on vintage lentil, 40 count vintage lentil from Lakeside, which is not the called for, that's my choice, but I am using the called for threads. And you know, I noticed that in this light, I think all my linens look exactly the same, but they really aren't. In person, they really aren't. So this is, we have 2 sets. I put out 2 sets of assignments because I'm leading the assignments on this one. And I put 2 choices out. You could do a 12-month or you could do an 18-month assignment. And I think most of us probably have jumped forward. I'm not sure, but I know at least 2 others have jumped forward. I did just a little bit more than I was supposed to, because I kind of got started and didn't really want to stop. I just love the colors. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a good representation or not. That's not bad right there. But I just love these colors. So that's Folksy Thomas. But back to what I was talking about with the deferred assignments. We're not going to stitch on him in December. So since he was a late November, we're given, you know, the balance of November and then December to do him, and we'll pick him back up with another assignment again in January. And so that left me some free time. I think I had free time stitching probably, I guess I had free time stitching for 4 nights before Thanksgiving, and then the rest of November I had free stitching. And I'll show you here what I did and where I got my finish. Okay, ta-da! If you watched my last video, you know that I had shown this piece. It is Poinsettias and Pines. It's an older design from 2007. Blue Ribbon Designs is the designer behind this. And I stitched mine on 40 count winter woolens, which is a seraphim fabric. I love seraphim fabrics. And the colors, I kind of followed her suggestions a little bit, but I kind of didn't. I just pulled out, went to my thread wall and pulled out just all kinds of things. So there's some 500, DMC 500, 501, 503 for some of the lighter stitching. I did switch out the white to get the snowflakes, and you still can't super see them, but they're there. When you see it in person, you can see them, to make them brighten up a little bit. And I really, really love this. It's just, I don't know, it just makes me feel good. So I'm happy to have gotten this finished. And, oh, and I forgot to show you, hang on a second. So I had put that year 2023 on here. That was my impetus, get it done. So I guess the moral of that story is if you want to get a finish and you don't want to skip out, put the year on it and see what that does. See if that gives you an oomph to get it going. So, oh, I meant to show you when I had my Folksy Thomas up here. I was talking about this color palette. I am in love with these colors. So I'm just going to quick show you the threads. Look at all those colors. You can really get, they're just really rich, really rich. If we twist them around and make them look oh so pretty. So that was the colors. Sorry about that. I digressed a little bit. Okay, so that's everything that I worked on in the last 3.5, 4 weeks since we spoke, or since I chatted with you and you got to watch, and maybe you spoke back to me too, to the TV. I find myself during Flosstube doing that all the time, talking back to that person as if I was sitting there, which probably makes me a little crazy. But okay, so last night I finished that on Tuesday, so 2 days ago, Poinsettias and Pines. I know I was supposed to start my homework on December 1st, but that was actually a Hawk Run Hollow day, so I did that. Saturday and Sunday, I didn't stitch at all. We just had tons going on. My husband was going back to Baltimore on Sunday. I was trying to get interior house decorated, or while he was here, and I had a little bit of help. And there was just a lot going on. So since I knew I was so close to being finished, I had hoped to be finished with Poinsettias and Pines before, December 2nd. And since I didn't even stitch it all during the weekend, I ended up finishing it then on Monday and Tuesday. So I kind of cut into veggie time with a little bit of dessert, but that's okay. I got that finished, and now I can probably get it framed and maybe even up on my wall over here. You can kind of see these are my Christmas charts that I have stitched that I don't mix within the decor. You might see up here from Eloquent Stitches, I have Merry Christmas. You can't really kind of see behind me, but down below on a easel, I have Baby It's Cold Outside from Heartstring Samplery. Yeah, because that's the one that refers to looking out, and let's see, what does it say? Oh, listen to the fireplace roar. Sorry, I turned my back to you. And then so throughout, I've got some, vignettes with some stitching tucked in. I never really had like a tree that I put stitching onto. But now I've gotten back several things like this that can be hung. So I had gotten this finished this year. It was stitched a few years ago, but I finally got it fully finished from my finisher. And this one was finished. Again, it was another one that was sitting. This is one that I had stitched, oh gosh, I don't know, quite a few years ago, and I finished it myself and put like a hanger on it, so it needs to be hung. This was just an absolutely beautiful gift from a really good friend, Cindy, last year. This one is one that I stitched, I don't remember when, quite some time ago. Just a Country Cottage Needleworks Christmas cookies, one of her classic Christmas designs. I think it's oh so cute. And then another Woodland Santa. So now I've got all of these little designs that have hangers on them. So I'm gonna have to, I do have a little hook thing that it's wrought iron, has a couple of hooks, and I had originally hung the peppermint twist and Christmas cookies on it because I was like, oh, they're kind of cute. But now I have all these others. So I think I'm going to have to maybe invest in like a small tree, or I'd love to get like maybe a wrought iron looking tree with little hangers or something. So I got to get those up. So that's the only stitching at this point that I don't either have up on the wall or fit into the decor somehow. Okay, so let's move on with plans. Plans for December are block 3 of my dwelling place, block 2 of Lazy Bear Mountain, and then we have a new start that is planned. I didn't take this out of the plastic, and I'll tell you why. I've got all my threads and everything in here. But we're going to be starting North Pole from Kathy Barrick. This is a new design that just came out. and everybody must be falling in love with it because through the shop, I have sold a ton of these. I saw this and I immediately thought of my mother-in-law who's now deceased. She had a carved prim, wooden Santas. I'm sure you've seen them. Collection. She had a ton of them. They went all the way across the hearth and the mantle. It was just a beautiful collection. And my oldest daughter, Brittany, just loved them. Every time we would, go to her house when she was little, because I guess Britt was about 9 whenever Elaine passed away. And so she loved those Santas. And my sister-in-law actually ended up with all of them. We would have probably liked to have had a couple, but I saw this and I thought, oh, this would be the perfect design to stitch for Brittany. She called, my kids called their grandma, not grandma, they called her Tootsie. And Brittany and Elaine shared a date of birth for the day, the 22nd. So Elaine's birthday was December 22nd. Brittany's is February 22nd. And they called themselves the 22nd Girls. And that's how the nickname too, because they were like the 22nd Girls. And we were like, what? And Elaine would say, oh, she's just my Tootsie Wootsie. And next thing you know, Brittany would say back to her, you're my Tootsie. And so she just became Grandma Tootsie or Tootsie. And I think Elaine loved that because honestly, I don't think she really cared about being called Grandma so much. But so she would sign all of the cards and everything Tootsie. And so I'm going to stitch this for my daughter for next year. Give this to her next year. I'm probably going to put her initials and Elaine's initials and put the big 22 in the center instead of putting in North Pole. And then I'll be able to gift it to her. So I'm really excited about that. So we're starting, my group of girls are starting with me on the 22nd. And I really appreciate that they're allowing or indulging me for that, for that kind of special project. And I believe Becky is leading assignments on that one. So that just gives me 3 assignments for this year, or for this month, to finish, which is not a tremendous amount. I'm very happy about that because that gives me some free stitching. And I really haven't, I'm going to pull some things together here over here. Sorry. I don't think I do a lot of Christmas stitching. When you get it all out, all of a sudden you kind of think, wow, I really do have some Christmas stitching, but not tons. My house is not just totally filled with it. And I would like to have a few more smalls, but here we go. I'll show you the things that I was considering for my free time use. What I kind of thought I would consider, and then what I'm actually going to do. So the first one that I pulled out, and I actually I already have made a working copy and everything, but I didn't want to pull anything out that was already kitted and have to do that. So I already just pulled out my kitted working copy, and that is from the Scarlet House, Be of Good Cheer. I really love this. It only uses 5 threads. It's small. I mean, it's 134 by 97. This model is stitched on 28 count over 1, which gives you a size of like 4 3/4 by 3.5. So I'm stitching it on a 46 count. So when I get to it, but that was my first one that I wanted to consider. Then I thought, this is so beautiful. Peace on Earth Sampler by Cottage Garden Samplings. But again, really big, and to me, almost very similar to what I just finished with Poinsettias and Pines. So I thought, all right, well, it's going to be another time. Then I pulled out Candy Cane Lane from Brenda Gervais with Fine Needle and Thread. This came out in 2019. I didn't pull these out of the plastic, y'all. I'm sorry. Because they're just going right back into my stash. And that didn't wow me either. So then I have an older one from Brenda Gervais. It's like 10 years old. This is the Cozy in the Pines sampler. Maybe I should have pulled them out of the plastic. I'm sorry. Can you kind of see that? Doesn't scream Christmas, a little bit wintry. So I was like, yeah, no. Then I had my Peppermint Pals Snowman. I'm sure a lot of you have stitched this one, again, from Brenda Gervais. That was a finalist. Then there's Snow for Christmas. That was cute. And then I considered this Court de Bacor Joyous Noel. No, I really love this one. This made it into my final choice selection. Probably will get stitched next year. Then I pulled out Prairie Schoolers, book number 73, which is Christmas Samplers 2. There's some gorgeous samplers in here, and I really love this Season's Greetings pillow. So that was a possibility, and I didn't pull this one out because this has one of those self-seals. I've actually torn the paper trying to get them back in, and so I was not going to pull that one out. I'm sorry. Then I have this kit to consider. This was a country sampler kit from Samplers Not Forgotten, Peace on Earth. And I think this came out last year. I believe it came out last year. Now this is really pretty. I love this one too. This is another one that I could have chosen. And then I have this one kitted as well, but I'm just going to show you this is Noel sampler. Seems to be a theme. I've got a whole ton of Brenda Gervais. And I love this Noel sampler. Gorgeous. Again, an older from 2013. But I just wasn't quite ready, I think, to jump into another big one. So I had also pulled out Prancer. You know, I'm going to go ahead and pull this one out of the Prancer from Hobby House. And this one was chosen. I'm going to work on him first. Love him, love him, love him, love him. Again, only 5 threads. And I will show you. I'm going to stitch him on 40 count fawn, piece of 40 count fawn. I'll just go ahead and fold it down. I already have this, like, because I'm an older stitcher. You know, the way we used to always start was you folded your material into 4s, right? And when you had your center point, that's where you start. Well, that's what I'm going to do with Prancers. I'm going to give him a center start on some 40 count fawn. And let me show you the threads. I'm not doing a very good job. Anyway, there's your threads. There's my, look at my lovely, lovely, lovely thread keep from my good friend Becky. And so there's my threads. I don't know if you'll be able to see them if I just hold them up against me, but they are beautiful. There's a pretty good shot. Gorgeous. Now I have 2 reds pulled because his body is, the called for is mulberry, and I'm gonna leave him with mulberry because it's got that little bit of brown to him, and I think he should probably be a little bit brown. But then the snowflakes, I pulled a separate red, and it's called Dark Beauty, and this is a Victorian motto, and I think that's going to be pretty. So it gives a little bit of difference. That's the only thing that I did differently. Everything else is the same. So that's going to be my free time stitching for this month. And if I have time, I may pull another one. There was a Santa ornament from Acadia Stitching that I saw Cindy C Stitches on Instagram have as one of her finishes for the 12 and 23 ornament stitch along for this year, and I just loved it. So it's available on Etsy. I'll insert a picture if I can do that. I'm not a great editor, but I will try to insert a picture because it's a PDF download, and I did not print off the front of the chart in any way. I actually saved it to my iPad, and I'm just going to stitch it off my iPad because it's not very big. So I'll try to insert a picture, but it's just really a sweet one. And if I finish Prancer, then if I have more free time, then that's what I'm going to work on, is that Santa ornament. So let's see, what else have I have? I think, let's see, okay. I did get a little bit of stash enhancement that I'm going to share with you. First thing was Brenda did a limited edition, Brenda Gervais from With a Needle and Thread, did a limited edition kit for this Winter Berries and Pine. And I, fear of missing out, right? This was a FOMO purchase completely. So I did get it. It's a complete kit. She gives you all the goodies to finish. And so got that one. Then I belong to the Circle of Friends club, which is from the Silver Needle. Beautiful brick and mortar cross-stitch store in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And our first design for this year was from Artful Offerings, and they named it Circle of Friends. So isn't that sweet? And there's lots of little goodies that came with it. Inside this tin are some, she always gives you, I don't know if they're called, what are they called, Jelly Bellies? Yeah, Jelly Bellies. So there's like little Jelly Bellies, all full there, but also just the sweetest, let me see if I can put it up against something so you can see it. Debbie from My Big Toe Designs designed this needle threader to kind of match. And I think that's really sweet. So that was in the tin along with the Jelly Bellies. And there's all the finishing goodies. There's everything, velveteen, your needle, threads, linen. And this was done on a 36 count, I believe. Yeah, 36 count linen from Weeks. So really, really sweet kit. Love that. So that arrived this week, actually last week. And then I just have a couple of purchases. Oh, I apologize for that. That was one of the cats. She just went screaming up the stairs. In the mornings, it seems to be like where Sadie feels her like juice for the day before the afternoon, where she naps all afternoon. And she just tears around the house. And it's the funniest thing. She's 4.5, so she's still, got some life in the old legs. Sadie, my old girl, who's almost 14, just sits and looks at her like, have you lost your mind? But they're really funny. So I ordered a couple of things from Scarlet Letter. Man, Dogs, and Deer. Love this, love this, love this. Isn't that gorgeous? That flower border just sold me. It's gorgeous. So I got that from the Scarlet Letter. Really happy about it. It's a 2019. It's not new. I just hadn't seen it before. So I got that. And this is kind of also another one. I believe this was, well, no, this actually is the new one that came this year. This is, doesn't really have a name. It's needlework panel of a fruit tree with 2 animals, circa 1690. Look at that. Gorgeous. I'm going to show you the original. So there's the original 17th century panel. and they charted it and added in some beautiful color. I just think it's gorgeous. So I'm very excited about that. I'm not sure exactly when I'll do it, but it's not huge. Stitched on 32 count linen, the panel would be the same size as the original, which is 9.5 by 9.5. I don't ever stitch anything on 32 count unless I have to, which, you know, the Village of Hot Run is going to probably push me to the edge, but I would obviously stitch this on a much smaller scale with, you know, a higher thread count. So when I get to that one, we'll see how it goes. And then my good friend Olivia, who's Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, you have to watch her videos. She showed a quilt that she did, that she put together, and I think it was her me time quilt. And then I immediately messaged her and said, you know, what book was that you showed? And she said it was Snuggle Up, which is a Moda All-Stars. And this is a sample of the quilt, not obviously the fabrics that she used, but the pattern that she used, and I love it. And this book is full of it's all nap and lap quilts, which is what we use mostly, nap and lap quilts. We're big lap quilt people in our family, and this thing has got some just really beautiful designs. This particular one was from Betsy Tuchin, and there's the finish on it. Not a hard design to do. So I've got some Christmas fabric that's probably several years old that I've kind of hoarded, and I think that would be perfect for. So that's my stash enhancement that I kind of thought I would share with you. Hopefully, you know, they're kind of current things, so if you want to jump out and grab something, you can. I don't like showing things that are out of print if I can all help it. So, because then that kind of leads to some frustration if you can't get something. Okay, what's next? Oh, got a couple of Flosstube shout outs I want to give. Liz, who has the absolute best laugh in the world. She's the Wandering Stitcher. She was part of Cross Stitch Needleworkers or Cross Stitch Antique, something like that. And now she has her own channel, and that she's revived. She had started it on her own quite a while back, and has revived it and has put out, I believe, 2 episodes. I just watched her second episode like this past Friday. Hey, Liz, I hope everything's going well for you for the holiday. I really love her. She's such a sweetheart. So go watch Liz. And then I've been watching my standards, you know, my Carol and Olivia and my, you know, my regulars. And then I started watching Nerissa's Stitching Lifestyle, and I really love Nerissa. I love her style of video. It's, you know, not a lot of fluff. Oh, there's Sadie. You see her right there? She's running around. Anyway, so go watch Nerissa. It's Nerissa, and I'll actually tag her down below in the description box if you'd like to go watch Nerissa. I haven't watched a tremendous amount. I did put on Priscilla and Chelsea's home tour, and, you know, Priscilla's home, and I hadn't watched them in a couple of years, and oh my, has she made some changes. The 3 great big trees in the front window, I was like, whoa. It's not a wonder she has to start right after Halloween, because it would take you forever and a day to get all that up. So, on to maybe what you've been waiting for. I don't know. We'll see. Giveaways. I had a giveaway from last episode, which was for all you planners out there for a 2024 book a day planner. And I had a lot of you, a lot who want to be planners. So I may give another one of these away at the next video, as well as my 5,000 giveaway. So 5,000 subscriber giveaway. So, but for this particular one, Lynn, who is Glammy B, it's Glammy B, Bee, Glammy Bee. Congratulations, Lynn. You're the winner of the 2024 Book of Days. Please email me. I'll have my email down in the description box. Email me with your mailing information, and I'll get this right out to you so that you got time to get your plans going. And let's see, what am I going to do? So since I crossed over 5,000 just in this last week or two, I think, I didn't have tremendous amount of time to like pull tons of things together that I thought, you know, like I wasn't anticipating moving over 5,000. I think I might have gotten a little bit of a boost from a shout out from another video. But I thought, you know, this time of the year, what's a great thing to do, to give away that everybody could use. And I thought, you know, I'll give away a $50 gift card to my shop. I do carry a fairly eclectic amount of items. We have about 3,300 items in the shop, so there should be plenty for anybody to choose from. If you'll remember, please don't say giveaway. There's no age requirement necessarily on this one because I'm not going to be asking for your address to mail you anything. I will only ask for your email address, and then you'll be able to, you know, I'll send you the gift card information to the shop and with the codes, and you'll have $50 to spend. So thank you so much for sticking with me. If you've stuck with me for this amount of time, hopefully everyone has had a great fall going into winter. You know, I don't know if you're buried under snow or if you're down in Florida where it's, you know, 80 and you're sweating. But wherever you are and whatever kind of weather, whatever your holiday plans, I just wish everyone well. I thank you for spending time with me this year. And just remember to create every day, and take care now. Bye-bye.